I'm going to walk through why the AmScope SM4TZ 80M 5M might be the right or wrong choice for you, without the usual hype. Buying a stereo microscope isn't like picking a phone, you'll spend a lot of time looking through it, so the real question is whether it fits the way you actually work. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have is ending up with a piece of equipment that looks impressive on paper but ends up being a pain to set up on a cramped bench. With this model you get a double-arm boom stand that stretches about 20 inches across and a 17-inch pillar. That gives you a lot of freedom to swing the head over a PCB, a mineral sample, or a small mechanical assembly without constantly readjusting the whole rig. In practice, I've seen hobbyists mount it on a workbench and simply slide the boom to the left or right as they move from one project to the next, and the whole thing stays steady. If you're used to a tabletop microscope that you have to tilt and push back into place each time, that extra reach can feel like a real time saver. The trinocular head is another practical point. It means you can keep both eyes on the specimen while a third port stays free for a camera or another eyepiece. For anyone who needs to capture images for reports, teaching, or just sharing on a forum, that's a big advantage over a simple binocular system. You'll need to buy a camera separately, but the port is standard size, so attaching a USB microscope camera is straightforward. If you never plan to document your work, the extra port is mostly just a placeholder, and you might be paying for a feature you won't use. Now let's talk about the optics that actually affect what you see. The microscope comes with a pair of 10x super wide-field eyepieces and a 0.7x 4.5x zoom objective. The result is a continuous zoom range from roughly 7x up to about 45x total magnification. For most electronics repair, hobby electronics, and small part inspection, that range hits the sweet spot. You can see solder joints clearly at the low end, then zoom in to check a tiny component's orientation without losing depth perception. In a real-world scenario, I observed a user examining a PCB with surface mount chips. The wide field at low magnification let them see the whole board layout, then they dialed in to 30x to check a suspect resistor. The depth perception stayed solid because it's a true stereo view, not a single lens macro. The LED ring light is removable and offers intensity control. In a bright workshop, that can be a blessing. You can dim the ring so glare doesn't wash out the image, or crank it up for a dark sample like a mineral slice. Because the light sits in a ring around the objective, it gives even illumination without casting harsh shadows, which is something users often complain about with side-mounted LEDs. On the flip side, the ring is a bit bulky. Pulling it off to swap a different light source takes a minute, and the clip can feel a little tight after repeated removals. If you need to change lighting frequently, that might feel like a small annoyance. One hidden trade-off is the overall footprint. The boom stand provides flexibility, but it also means the unit occupies a sizable portion of a bench. In a cramped home lab, you'll need to clear at least a couple of feet around it to swing the arms freely. That isn't a problem if you have a dedicated workbench, but it can be a deal breaker for someone who works at a shared space or wants a portable solution. The weight is comparable to other professional-grade stereo microscopes, so it's sturdy but not something you'll comfortably carry around the house. So, who should really consider this microscope? If you're a serious hobbyist who regularly works on soldering, watch repair, or small mechanical assemblies, the combination of long working distance, flexible boom, and decent magnification range will likely pay for itself in reduced setup time and clearer inspection. Students in biology or geology who need to look at specimens with depth like a leaf cross-section or a mineral grain will also appreciate the stereo view and the ability to attach a camera for lab reports. Small businesses that produce prototypes or do quality inspection can benefit from the hands-free positioning the boom offers, especially when you need both hands free for tools. Who should skip it? If you're just looking for a casual magnifier to glance at stamps or coins, the price point and size are overkill. Likewise, anyone who needs higher magnification, say 100x or more for detailed PCB failure analysis or forensic work, will find the 45x ceiling limiting. Finally, if you need an all-in-one solution with a built-in camera and you don't want to buy accessories separately, you'll probably be happier with a different model that bundles those features. Practical strengths, summed up, are the flexible boom that lets you position the head without moving the sample, the trinocular port for easy image